Hello, everybody. All you lovely people that are here. I'm using a new mic, a different mic. Not a new one. I've had both for a while, but this one doesn't pick up quite as much. It might sound a little might sound a little better because my computer's pretty loud. So let me know how it sounds. Wow, that's pretty much a mess there, isn't it, with the chat on the right? I gotta figure out how to show the chat. If I could get... kind of background on it. Does Streamlabs do that? Jillian, are you still there? I know you said you got me on mute, but... So how's everybody been anyway? How's your week so far? How was your weekend since last time? Tests. Okay. Oh, the Streamlabs has an option to set the background for a widget element, but it says it won't be visible and it's for preview purposes only. What's the point? Use a different kind. What does this look like? That is somehow worse. Work is boring, but I have the first 2 weeks of May off, so that's something to look forward to. Oh, nice. I don't get any time off until July. Sorry, I'm just going to try a couple more things just to see if I can make this look any better. I need to clearly spend more time playing with my stream setup. Change the text color, maybe that'll help. What do I do for a living? I work at an agency that assists adults with supported independent living. So adults with sorry, hang on a sec. Adults with mental disabilities and intellectual disabilities and things like that. So I just spend the day with them and help them get appointments they need done, get them to their appointments, set appointments if they need, just basically anything. Help them with their money if they need help. A lot of people don't. Yeah, so it's pretty nice. It's pretty rewarding. I enjoy it. Every time I refresh it, it disappears. Yeah, it's a very noble profession. Oh well, I enjoy it, and it makes a little bit of a difference in people's lives. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick with this for now. That looks all right. Okay, so as you may have seen or may not have seen, I posted on Twitter, Facebook. This week I'm gonna switch it up from programming and do some art. Just to keep things a little more interesting, maybe. a little more refreshing. And I'm thinking of cycling between scripting, art, and music every week. So this is art week. So today and Thursday, I'll be doing background art. So this is a screen that I started back in, let's see the file name. The file date. This is picture 16. ...2008. It's the last time I modified this file. July 7th at 9:15 in the morning, 2008. And I never did finish it, so we're going to finish it, or at least work on it more today. What happened to my AGI studio? Here it is. So that would be this picture here. Maybe I'll... yeah. So you can see I basically copied it. That's the original. This is how I trace it. I copy it from AGI Studio and just paste it into as a tracing image. So I got the hill here, and like it wasn't a full-on trace over. I see there's the split tree here. I tried to make it a little bigger because Graham is bigger in this game, in SCI games. But I didn't do any branches up here. Another tree back here. I kind of start with the foreground objects and work my way back, kind of opposite to what you might do in like Photoshop, say, because it doesn't work in layers. It sort of can work in sort of like layers because it saves all the draw commands right here, as I showed before, and as you've seen in the pre-stream video. But it's best to start with foreground objects and work your way back because you can't draw underneath anything, because it doesn't really have layers. So this was kind of my, we'll take this tree as an example. This was kind of my process with doing style for trees. So I'd start with the middle color, which would be black and brown dither. But first, okay, so first I draw them all in black, but then I go back and change the visual color here. So if I change that to black, it's drawing all in black. So I just start in black and then go back and change the colors after. But so I draw the shading lines. I'm pointing at the screen again, sorry. I draw the shading lines in the same color as the shading, so that when I use the fill later on, that line will be obviously not so noticeable. If it were black, it would be kind of jarring. So this is a lighter color here, so like the... okay, so I fill in with black and brown in the center, and then I fill with just solid brown for the highlights. And then for the back part, I use a gray and brown for the kind of shaded reflected light part. I did some very quick crash course research into lighting for art, and so that's kind of what I came up with. I did the same thing to this tree right here, so if we back up, let's see here. First thing I drew was the hill. I see I did the same thing to the palm tree here, so we got dark gray and light gray, and then gray and white, which gives that kind of shaded dark to light look. Just a sec. Let me know if that music's too loud. Alright, so... and then the bushes around the tree there, which I kind of mimicked from... sort of, from the AGI version. I'm probably going to redo those bushes. I did the same style on every screen. And it just kind of looks... I don't know. I'm not sure if I copied that from somewhere, like the style, or from another game, or if I just came up with that. I just don't remember, but it looks kind of... I don't know, it doesn't look very interesting. I might change that. Okay, so here. There's my 3 shading areas to give it some depth. Okay, so I changed my mind halfway through and I wanted to have this little portion sticking out to be protruding from the back of the from this section of the tree. So I added the line there and kept this. I changed the color of this line here to what is it? Black and gray, so that it looks more like a shadow, but still keeps the line. See how the dithering works to hide lines? If you were playing ScumVM in undithered mode, these would all be flat colors, and it wouldn't hide it as nicely. So we have our reflected light, shade, and then highlight right here. And then I use a bunch of swirly black lines to simulate the bark of the tree. Again, something where if you were playing at undithered mode in ScumVM, this would totally destroy the look. And I just add some more extra lines for more texture and detail. The tree back here is farther away, so it doesn't have as much color to work with for lighting, so I put the highlight on this side and the shade on this side, which is probably backwards. I'm probably going to have to go back and look at all the lighting. This was like years ago that I did this. And there's the lines for the bark here. Love Gary Owens. It really gives it some texture. It might be too much, but because I want to mimic King's Quest 1's graphics, right? So King's Quest 1's trees don't look nearly this detailed, but I kind of like how it looks. So I'll go with it for now. Anyway, so we got to finish this. Here's the original. There's a few flowers around here. I'm probably going to do a similar thing as I did well, on the very first screen here. These King's Quest 4 styled brush tool is basically all it is, with a certain size and with a dithered color, and it makes it look like little flowers. So I'm probably gonna do the same thing. First I do some, okay, let's go to those flowers for a second. Come on. Okay. Did I do that here? I just did flowers. The colors. Okay, and then I used a dark green and just spattered it on top so it looks like stems. But it's staggered, so you know, it's far away. You can't really tell if they're for each flower or not, and I think the staggered look kind of makes it look more authentic. Okay, so what's missing here? We need grass, we need horizon, maybe a couple more trees. Do we need a couple more trees? Maybe not, because this tree is going to have a bunch of branches here, which might cover it all. So and then the shade of the trees, obviously. So the sun is coming from more to the east, whereas in King's Quest 1 it came from the west, which is more of a setting, but this is more like a sunrise type of game. So I can see, but it's still mostly centered, so it's about midday, maybe just before noon. So the shadows are kind of lingering to the left, but still kind of centered over everything. So I want to mimic that. So like these are big trees, and if it was like early morning, these shadows would be really long across the sand even, but it's still more centered, so I'm just going to keep it around here-ish. Alright, so let's start with the shade then, or should I do the horizon in the back? Just going to check one of my other screens again. I want to keep it consistent, so with this screen here right next to Grandma's cottage, I just do hard lines. Okay. These shadows probably should be a little bigger, honestly. For the size of this tree, there's no way it's got that little bit of foliage at the top. Especially that one. I'm probably going to go back and switch that, but... And this is supposed to be a more thickly wooded area, so this is somewhere in between this and this is what I should have for this screen. And similarly for pick 16 here, so. Okay, I'm going to use dark green, quick reference, yeah. And use the line tool. Like I'm gonna get kind of an idea of the same locations of everything, but I can take some liberties, so. It's about here. I like this window here, it'll zoom up close to the actual pixel, which is really nice. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I should probably do these branches first on this tree. So I'm going to rewind, and before I get to this part of it, I'm going to do it here. So what color are usually the leaves that I use? Let's go back up here. The dithered pattern. Okay, so I do kind of an arrangement here, you can see. Instead of just 3 for, you know, highlight, shade, and reflected light, I kind of got a grouping here because a group of leaves in such a bundle like this, jumble, it's got a little more depth than just 3 colors would allow. And since we can use dithered colors, we can do some interesting combinations. And I've copied this from other games. Mainly King's Quest 1. So we got on reflected light over here, dark green and light green, and then solid dark green, and then we do a teal and dark green, and we do teal and light green, and then cyan and light green. So that's kind of the pattern there. So let's go back. We'll start with, well, I can do 1 color for now. Now this is going to be tricky because you'd think that these branches would go in front of this tree here. And I've already drawn the tree. So I might have to fix that up a bit. But for now, let's just pick a color and get going. Let's just say green for now. I can change it after. So start right where it ends off, and yeah, I can definitely see that over the tree there. This is fine too because I can draw over things because I can delete those draw commands later, and then it would give the impression that these leaves are in front of that tree. Which I don't save any data doing that, but if I keep backups, just in case I want to change my mind for something, then I'll be fine. I don't like this part here. I'm gonna get rid of that and that. Sometimes I'll do that and the draw commands will be out of order like this because I've gone back and redrawn a certain section. But does that look natural? I don't know if I like it, so let me try it again. Perhaps down here. Because I want it to look like the branches are going up into the leaves and not just cutting off at the end of that there, so put some behind it too. Something like that. Just to kind of give the impression that it's really going all up here, and the leaves are wider than the base, obviously, which is pretty typical of trees. So that's kind of the size I'm going to have there. Now, as far as depth, this kind of hump here that I've created, just on a whim, can kind of look like patches of leaves that are in front of patches that are behind. So maybe I'll make this little section here a little brighter than this section. Maybe put some teal on that one. Let's start from there. Like, we can have a patch of leaves that begin and end right there. I should still make a line here. I don't know how this is going to look. I'm not experienced and I'm really rusty, but we'll see how it turns out later on. Alright, let's go back now and try to fix that tree. One of these trees anyway. So it's about here that it breaks up. Delete. Now see, the flood fill kind of messed up there. So, where is that flood fill taking place? 189 by 25. I gotta cut this off here. Well, let's look at it for a second. Like, this is a mess now, but it can be fixed. I'm also gonna get rid of a lot of the bark lines I made. Delete that one for now. That'll save it a little bit. That won't. Just gonna delete that flood fill for now. And that one. Alright, delete that line. Delete those lines. Can be a little tedious, and like, if I was doing this properly from the start, I wouldn't have even drawn this part of the tree. I would have finished this first tree first, and this wouldn't be taking so long right now. But it's work I want to pick back up on and not just waste what I did back then. But next time I won't make this mistake, and things will be a little more efficient. So far it's pretty good. We'll see how well it lines up after. Alright, and there's the other tree. I know it goes over that tree later, but that's fine. Alright, not too bad. That black line can go up a little farther, and so can this dark gray and black dithered line. To, let's let's say 188 by 13 and 178 by 11. 188 by 13. By 13 and 178 by 11, right? There we go. There we go. All right, now we can do those flood fills. Maybe if I move the bark details to later, I can do the flood fill. Okay, so those bark details. See, the nice thing about this too is you can copy and paste commands. So all of this bark detail I can just cut right out and use later on after a flood fill has been made. And if I want it to be a different color, I can just copy and paste the commands and the color can be different. So it's really kind of versatile. Cut that. I do still want to have a black color there. Not there. Here. So now that the tree color is there, I can copy and paste those commands. There we go. But before I do that, I want to put the flood fills in. Because now that the branch pixels are blocking it... wait, what's going on there? I drew a line there. Okay, I don't need that line. I don't need the flood fills right now. Do them after. Okay. Okay, right before the bark detail, I can set the color to brown and dark gray and do flood fill, same thing I did before. Brown and black, and then solid brown. Boom. I could use a little more detail there, I see. So let's just fill that in. I don't like that line. There we go. That's not bad. Perfect. All right, continuing on with the leaves. I'll go back. This is where I was drawing the leaves. I like to keep the draw commands in the same place so that they're not scattered all over the place. So if I want to change something with a certain object on the screen, all the draw commands are in one place and don't have to mess with it too much. Like this outline of the stump of the tree bark here is obviously way up the list, but again, if I was doing this right the first time, I wouldn't have made that mistake. I would have done it differently. And how do I want this to go? Just up like that? Sure. Okay, now what were those color patterns again on the tree? We got this. Okay, I better fix this tree here too. Delete those. I'm going to do this same thing here. I don't want to fill these yet. Cut. Go all the way down. focus on this leaves right now. Sorry, I had my mic muted. I just got rid of those bark lines on that tree. I'll do them later. Well, the more I look at it, the more I like the simplicity. King's Quest 1 had a lot of simplicity in its detail, and it looks like a storybook. And I might just be overdoing it here with these bark lines. But we'll see how that goes. For now, let's finish these leaves. So, the colors again are... this one away. Oh, this is actually a nice one. So I got dark green and light and dark gray, and then teal and dark green. So because it's more shaded, but it still has a kind of feel. I copied these colors and these gradient type dithered patterns straight from King's Quest 1. Not the actual tree. I drew the tree myself, but just the shade. Try to give it some depth. Here, maybe it could stand to be a little more like this here. So dark green. Okay. The other color. Dark gray and green. And then teal and dark green. Maybe go back to dark green for dark green and black for this part. Right here, will that work? Looks kind of gimpy. Or does it look okay? Maybe it might look okay. I'll leave it like that for now. For now, let's go back to the horizon here. So, shadows. Let's do shadows. What were the shadow colors I had? So green and dark gray. Lots of green and dark gray. Branches kind of stretch out like this, so we want to make a nice big area. And I'm no artist. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. Boom, shadow. That looks alright. Really kind of makes it look like the branches are spread out like that. Now these branches would be higher, so the shadow... No, I'm not using a tablet. I'm using a mouse. Definitely mouse. I don't have a tablet. I'm not a real artist. Real artists use tablets. Probably be handy though. How far should those... Okay, let's do something like this for this tree. Continue it up here maybe. No, I don't like it going that high. don't know why, but it looks wrong. A little more closer to the base. And then down a bit here. I'm gonna chop it up like that. Really looks like the branches are too small for that huge trunk. Maybe I should spread it out further. This music is from Thexter 2, by the way. Mission 5. Something like that. That looks better. I'm gonna go back and fix these lines on this tree. On these leaves. I keep wanting to say branches, but it's not branches. These leaf lines. So that was... what color were those? Okay, dark green, dark gray, dark green again. Take me back. And this was dark gray, dark green. So here would be dark again. And then back there. Does that work? There, it's a little easier. Oh, except for this line. Oh, the pattern's different. I'm gonna fix that. I'm using the wrong dark green. This one. I don't know why I have two. That's a leftover from some other image, I think. This line must be different. Has to be the teal. Okay. I think that's okay for now. Now the horizon lines, I'm going to move those towards the end. Then I'll go... normal grass color is dithered green and dark green. Gives it a little brighter look, but not too bright like the AGI bright, which does make it look nice and sunny, but King's Quest 1's grass was always dithered too, and I'm, again, trying to copy that style, so... let me just have a look at this again. So the horizon's a little lower, but that's fine because everything's bigger in SCI. So the horizon's a little higher, the horizon line. Those would be like hills kind of in the distance, I'd imagine. And there's this bush or tree or something here. I might just leave that. Some of the other backgrounds I have here for distance shows trees in the background just as these dark blue silhouettes. I'll probably do something more like that. So this will actually be the line, the horizon line, where if you go beyond this line, the screen will shift to the next room. And the green hills in the back will just be background. Whoops, went a little too long. Alright, and then we can go poof, 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 poof. Go back to the green. Fill that in. Whoops, missed one. Missed it again. There. And then the horizon colors is, we'll do solid blue for these parts. Solid, solid, and here's where I'll do the silhouettes. So just random shapes of trees. So dark blue and black. Start one right here. A little wider. Make it interesting. Colima has some massive oak trees, let's say. No, you know what? Let's have it come up more like a... There we go, from this side. Makes the base look bigger. Oh, I don't like that last line. Oh, I'll just... There. Then we'll fill that in. Before we do, I'll do another tree back here. This one will be an evergreen. That looks horribly cartoony. That's awful. It suddenly turned into Day of the Tentacle. It's got to be more subtle, more hazy looking, so... Again, I don't know anything about art. I don't know why there'd be evergreen trees in the same areas as oak trees. But it's just supposed to be a hazy silhouette, so... Okay, and we'll go back to... Wait. Fill that in while we're at it. Okay. And we don't want too many in the background because this is still pretty close to the beach right now. And like this one is a little further inland. I think it's one screen over actually. And maybe above, but that's why there's more trees in the back there. So then we're going to change this to solid blue. Start drawing some lines like this. The horizon will gradually get brighter the higher it goes, so we'll start with solid blue, then do a dithered blue and light blue, and then a solid light blue as our sort of gradient we're going to work with. This is too high. That's too high too. Let's do it lower. Man, it's so hard to get the exact pixel. Come on. Those sensitivities all over the place. Just down one. Keep skipping it. Okay, there we go. You know what? Let's just zoom in. That'll be easier. Poof, poof, poof. And we'll do dithered. Actually, we'll do the light blue line first. That's fine. And for the last one, we'll do this. And there's our background horizon. And that's pretty good. All we need to do is the details here. So again, I like to keep the drawings objects in the same place, so I'm going to go back to these draw commands here and start doing the shading or some details on the, like sometimes there are breaks in the leaves and the sun shines down through them, stuff like that. So again, I'm just going to reference what I did before. Okay, those are just lines, random lines cutting into the shadows there to make it look like grass texture on the ground, and also sunlight shining through the leaves, and the leaves themselves not having a perfect circular shape. I don't like that line. Is that too much? Can I salvage that? Something like that. Let me get rid of that one. And that one. No, that line is too much. You know, I get like stray pixels just existing out there. I don't like that. Still gotta semi-realistic, you know? Yikes. Nope, that's fine. Whoa. Too much zigzag. I might be overdoing it. Again, I'm going to look at some other screens. So it's not as... Might be overdoing it a bit. I want it to be subtle. I don't want to ruin the shape I have here. This still might be too much. This leaves like an outline here, and that doesn't make sense at all, so I'm going to get rid of that line. That's better. I still think there's too much green going on here, though. This might be too much here. And just trying to be subtle. I don't want it to look like zigzaggy, jagged lines. It's gotta look natural, as natural as possible. Okay, that's fine for now. Also, I didn't do a shadow on this tree here. I'll fix that later. Now, let's populate it with some flowers. So the original had blue, red, yellow, another red up here. Red, yellow, red, blue. So I'm going to keep the spirit of it, maybe have the same color flowers in those areas, but not look like this, have it look more like this. Okay. So I need to use a pen tool with a certain size, I think this size, and I need a draw a pattern like this. So you can see how quickly it just kind of works, right? Okay, there's some more red ones down here by this tree. Let's just spread some out here. And then some yellow ones. So I'm copying the spirit of it, but I'm doing it in an SCI type of way. Okay, and then blue ones down beneath. Tulips or something like that. Right. And I'll just use a solid green for the grass. Let me bring up this one though first. I want to see something. Okay, it is just a pen tool with a smaller size. Okay, just gotta remember what I did. That's not working out at all how I want. Let's go back to this size. No, that's too much. It probably looks a little better because there's solid green grass here, which is like a lighter grass as it moves into the beach. This is a thicker grass over here with the texture, the dither pattern. It is a pen. Oh, that's interesting. These flowers are red and a mix of red and purple. Oh yeah, and there's blue and purple here. Do I want to copy that? Maybe I do. Let's just put a couple. Just to be interesting. Yeah, why not? Oh, maybe I used this pattern. Yeah, that's what it is. It's kind of a random pattern. There we go. Just at the sort of the base of all of these to make it look like flower stems. Or slightly thicker patches of grass. There. I think I might need a little more blue. Okay, I like it. And then I'm going to do the same thing here towards this beach line. Actually, that's a good point. I haven't changed it to. Okay, well I didn't do it here either. Okay, that's fine. I'll leave it. I was going to say move it into a lighter grass like this, but I did it on this screen. It's thicker grass. That's okay. It looks fine. Okay. I do want to fix this. There's not enough going on here. You can still kind of see the outline of the... Do something interesting like that. So you can still kind of see the outline of the circle. I want to keep that intact. Okay, I'm going to do that shadow quickly for that tree. Just gonna fold that. Putting some dark green lines into the brighter green will help too. Okay. Won't be a very big shadow. I want to add this before I go any further. Like that. Whoops. What's going on? It's not closed. There. Oh. Alright, now I gotta switch it back to grass. There. Adding some dark green lines into the brighter green. I'm not sure when you said that. Is that when we were talking about the flowers here, or just random dark green lines to give the grass like texture? Is that what you mean? I'm going to use the sand color here, which is white and yellow dither, to break up this a little bit. So easy to get it to look fakish, but the more you do it, the less, like, you still kind of see a defined line there. I want to hide that as much as possible. I can't see nothing. I can't click where I want to click. Wasting. I think instead of this, I'm just gonna make this the color of the sand. All the way up. Oh, I can't. That's why I did that. Because when I do fill, yeah, it detects the white as empty space. That's why I did that. Okay, I'm gonna leave that then. Yeah, it's not too bad for now. Again, I'm no artist. I'm gonna add some grass actually to around the tree, base of the trees here. Purple and green. Yeah, let's do this again. So, because grass tends to grow a little more next to the base of trees, right? Or something. That might be too much for that one. Just a couple. Plus, when you do it in kind of a line and around it, it makes it look more 3D. Can you do the art in another program and then import it in, or is it best to do it within this program? You can. Companion has a function to import. So if I do a new import bitmap, okay, so let's say, well, I'll just show you how I did it with the placeholders I did. So from clipboard, copy, convert, boom, done. The only problem is it draws it like this because it's an algorithm, and it gets everything in the end looking proper. These fuzzy lines I could fix, but if I imported it differently, but I just did it quickly. The only problem is if you do it that way, then you have to draw the priority screens all over again. So if I want to have walk behinds behind these trees, it's easiest to do it when you draw it within the program with its own draw tools, because you can draw with visual and priority at the same time. So like, for instance, this tree, let's hurry up and find that tree. Where is it? Okay, right here. So it starts down there. It's going to be light green. So I'm going to want to set that to light green. And now I can use the same draw commands, and it'll have a perfect walk behind for that tree. See? You can't do that if you import graphics. You'd have to draw it all over again, which you can do. You could just go over to visual, copy this image into the clipboard, go over to the priority screen, and then paste in what you just copied as a bitmap traceover image, and then you can trace over it, and you could do it that way. It just takes a little extra work. That's all. But it's totally possible. In fact, I'm going to get since I'm doing this, I might as well just do it now. Oh, shoot. No, I don't want to delete it. Turn the priority off. Right back on. Now I have the shape of the tree here, and I can fill that in later. I wonder how much was originally done in Deluxe Paint at Sierra versus their own custom tools. For the EGA games, it was their own custom tools. After that, they probably would have used it for pixel editing, but when they went VGA, they went straight to scanned hand-painted artwork. As far as I know, I don't think Sierra's ever done a game with all digital art besides in EGA with their own tools. There's no way you could import this. Well, I don't know, maybe they did, but they'd have to set up a program to do that, and why when they can just use their own tools? Because they got to store all these draw commands. That's how they kept the file size down. Same thing with AGI, it's drawn the same way with draw commands, which is kind of a very similar format, I believe. Yeah, I can't think of any Sierra game that, at least mainline Sierra game, like adventure games, that did digital art when they went VGA. It was all hand-painted. So they would have used probably Deluxe Paint to fine-tune and pixel edit. This is just my guess. I don't have a clue. I don't have insider information or anything. But judging by how I understand how these tools work and what the game resources are like, I'm guessing, and it's most probable that that's how they did it. They scanned in, they hand painted, and then pixel edited afterwards with Deluxe Paint, probably. I know LucasArts used Deluxe Paint almost exclusively for a while. Like, you can just tell that from some of the gradient patterns and dither patterns and stuff. Turn it back on. Alright, and that should give us the tree outline. But we don't need... Oh, I see. Alright, let's just disable that and fill it in there. Oh, dang, okay. Trying to see where that ends and begins. So fill, disable visual, fill again, disable priority. I don't need so many priorities. Okay, there. So now this tree is a walk behind. And it just so happened to exactly be placed. I don't think this was an accident, actually. I think I might have done that on purpose. Right on the line, so we can test that walk behind now. There we go, see? So the walk behind works. To a point. Did I make it the wrong color? It's not going to show in priority, obviously. Okay, so I might use the wrong color. It should be... Maybe it should be cyan instead. So let's just go back. Oops. I think they scanned in some artwork at one point. Cyan. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with the AGI approach. Very clever methods to keep our art assets as small as possible. Yep. Yeah, like, I think it was right from the... You mean LucasArts? They did scan at some point. Monkey Island 2, they actually started scanning VGA art. Fate of Atlantis. Indiana Jones and Fate of Atlantis was their last VGA game that they used all digital art, and I couldn't even tell at first. I mean, I see it now, but at the time, I thought it was hand-painted. They were some masterful artists there at LucasArts and Sierra. Yeah, Sierra started hand-painted right with King's Quest V, the first one. And then LucasArts started with Monkey Island 2. Peter Chan drew backgrounds with markers for Monkey Island 2. And then they hand pixel edited it after they scanned it in. Day of the Tentacle might have been all digital, though. That might be the case. I don't know. It's possible, because it's also cartoony style. Same with Sam and Max, although they could have been scanned, I suppose. Just looks so clean. Sierra, when they scanned their artwork, it was pretty, you could see a lot of scan artifacts on the screen and stuff, and it's still in the game, some of them. They're blazing a trail for sure, but could have been a little better. Everyone else avoided their mistakes, as happens. There we go. So now that... There we go. Now Graham is fully behind it. So I just used the wrong priority color. And I'll do the same for the leaves up there. Scanners would have been very pricey in 1990. Yeah. Yeah, it's plus it's just like, I'm sure LucasArts just hand pixel edited the crap out of their game. So I'm just going to open up Space Quest 4, for instance. King's Quest 5 actually looks pretty good. But some things like Space Quest... Sierra... SQ call... Wait, no. I have 2 SQ call folders. Okay. I don't know how that works. So SQ4 VGA. Well, this is deluxe paint. I can tell you that right now. This is all deluxe paint. It has the gradients and everything. So that their color cycling stuff, they definitely did in deluxe paint. Like this, the time rip. This is a total deluxe paint gradient right there. But if we go to like here, okay, see these kind of hazy lines in the back? It's not pitch black. It's like there's some brightness. I don't know if you can see it maybe on your screen, but you can kind of see it's lesser noticeable here, but especially here, like you can see where the hazy scan lines are. It looks like the texture of the canvas they painted on, honestly. Or maybe it's just the scanning settings they had weren't really good. But you can see like it looks really hazy and there's like these lines everywhere. It's not perfect, so they definitely improved as they went on with other games, but... Was Space Quest 4 your first Space Quest game you played? No. My first one was either Space Quest 1 or Space Quest 2. My first Sierra game was probably either Space Quest 2 or 1 or King's Quest 2. I cannot remember. King's Quest 1 is in there too. I just can't remember that far back. And then Maniac Mansion for LucasArts around that same time. I used to play Space Quest 2 all the time when I was a kid. Okay, so now I've got to do the leaves up here, make that a walk behind. Starting right here. We'll use the same one. And then disable. I should probably just keep the draw command active. Disable it there. And when it's time to do the flood fills, it just does them. There. And then we have, oh, there's a little pixel right there. How does that look? It's probably fine. It's a little pixel there. I really don't care. I can stay there. That's a simple rudimentary walk behind. So, as I was saying before, it probably wasn't an accident that I lined this up to a priority line color here. When I originally draw this, I probably did that on purpose. So right here, this tree would be teal, and then here, this one would be blue, as you can see. Yep, so I'll do teal on that tree. Come on. Here we go. Teal. Blue for this tree. And then it's drawing that tree, so we can see it started, and we'll follow the draw commands for the visual when we do the priority, so we don't have extra draw commands in here. That's what they would. It doesn't really matter. I mean, SCI picture resources do have to be under a certain size limit, just for memory considerations for the DOS interpreter itself. This wouldn't matter for ScumVM, but or would it? It's memory based in the script. Okay, it might still matter, but anyway, it won't. Companion will tell you this collection of draw commands is too large. You need to remove some because it was a file storage space consideration back then to fit these assets onto floppy disks. So it's best to be more efficient and not double up on commands. So then it draws the bark. Okay, here we go. And then we start to fill in here. This will be teal, fill. That one will be blue. And then this one will be teal again. This is why you should keep draw commands to one object in one spot collected and not share colors between in a list, because like now I have to change the priority color. That adds extra steps for each tree. So that's a consideration Sierra would have had to make back then to keep file size down. Alright, now we got some filled in trees here. Let's see what it looks like. That works. Good. Good. Awesome. I'm off to a meeting. Glad I could catch some of your stream, Brandon. Oh, thanks for joining, Edenwaith. Enjoyed you having here. Enjoy your meeting. Okay, I should put some... Okay, if I'm not going to put detail in the branches, I shouldn't put as much detail in the bark either. Definitely put some detail in here and there, but I like the clean look too, because King's Quest 1 definitely had a more cleaner look. Do I have... I just want to show what King's Quest 1 looked like quick. KQC, KQ1 new. So we can see the style they used here. Will this view with... That's the one thing about SCI Viewer is that you can't view the resources in aspect corrected form. So it's actually squished vertically a little bit compared to what it should look like on a square monitor back in the day. So we can see here the artist used some lines but didn't go crazy on the bark like I did. It's mostly just dithered colored patterns, And really, all that detail in the bark that I draw with all those squiggly black lines would just destroy file size. Now here's a nice tree, but it's just mostly solid colors and dithered colors and just a couple lines to show shape. Especially here, these are some nice looking trees, so I'm probably gonna walk back a lot of what I did. Same thing here. Here, these some different colored dithered patterns for lines here. This artist even used yellow and light green for grass color for some areas to make it look really bright. And highlights on the grass like this. That's something I'm gonna have to think about. Especially right here. Yeah, right on the edges. There's highlights right on the edges of certain grassy areas. So like here, it turns into light green in the distance. I might have to do something similar here to make it a little more vibrant. Those are some beautiful trees. And this is only 16 colors. I love that tree as well. So you can see they kind of did the same three-step shading type. So solid brown, kind of a colored gray brown, and then gray black for the shaded area, which is a nice touch. Some of these trees are more reddish. That's some nice texture. And I'm just doing plain Jane brown trees over here. So, but for the leaves, that's what I was looking at, the leaves. So here's some nice patterns in the... Man, so good. I am not the artist these guys are, that's for sure. Some yellow there. They use as many colors as possible, but in the simplest way possible. That is lovely. So here's where I kind of copied some of the shading color hues. Hey, Big Hairy Marty, nice to see you. How's it going? Getting to the end now of the stream now, just doing some graphics, doing this picture background for King's Quest 2. That's the original right there. Now this had a couple more trees in the background here, but if I were to add a tree, I might put one right here. I might actually do that, actually. Actually. How many times can I say actually? Like AGI, the way it did flowers like this, I wanted to keep the placement of flowers and the colors and everything, but do it in a more SCI way, so I did it more like King's Quest 4. Okay. Now what happens if I just get rid of the bark entirely? I'll save this. Let's just get rid of all the bark details and see how it looks. See how many commands this is? I'm just pressing page down to select them all. That's precious, precious floppy disk space. Delete. There, so it looks a little plainer, but I could add some subtle lines to it, and then it would match up more with the leaves here. But then this looks pretty detailed too now, the bark on this side for the palm tree. So, I don't know. Maybe for now I'll just quickly fill in. I can always remove stuff later, right? I don't need to stick to anything. This screen I actually redid a few times The original version didn't look near as nice as this one with the fading grass in. And you can see I did a lot of draw overs, which waste a lot of space, but yeah, I expanded out with a pen tool the shaded grass area, and then cut some out. Which is something you do in like Paint Shop or Photoshop. But here it's saving draw commands, not bitmaps, so it's just wasting space. I didn't need to do all of this. And then I erase it all anyway with these green lines. So it's so inefficient. This first screen is really bloated. I gotta admit, I'd be pretty intimidated even if I tried to undertake such a task in SCI Studio, even with that Space Quest mock-up I once did 3 years ago. Which mock-up was that? Do I know about it? Am I just forgetting which one it is? I'd love to see it. I love all things Space Quest. It's kind of intimidating. The way I started was I had no aspirations about being an artist. I just wanted to see King's Quest 2 in SCI. I'm like, well, I could kind of trace over it and see what it looks like the original beach screen. Where is it? So this was a near perfect trace over, as you can see. And even right down to the lines on the rocks, it just copied the rocks here, even the rocks in the distance. The only thing was I made the palm tree taller because I know Graham is bigger on screen in an SCI game. So you don't actually see the hanging coconut. And these bushes here I replaced with this. I don't know what this is, but this tree, this little bush here, I copied straight from King's Quest 1. You can copy and paste draw commands from different picture resources, so I just copied and pasted it, flipped it, moved it around the screen. Companion has a really nice ability to just take a collection of draw commands and resize them, stretch them, rotate them, mirror them, flip them, and move their coordinates around the screen. It's really handy. Yeah, I'll just trace it over, and then I traced it over almost exactly, except those bushes there I kind of copied, didn't I? That looks not too bad. And then I just used dithered colors instead of solid colors, and then I just started seeing more and more that I could do with it. Like I could add flowers with a pen tool here, and it just kind of balloons up like anything, like any piece of art. You start out with something simple, and you keep adding and you keep adding, and before you know it, you've made this big thing that's, and well, in my case, it's not amazing because I'm no artist, but whereas if I'd set out to say, yeah, I'm going to make this image right here, no, I'd been way too intimidated too. But it's just, experimenting and practicing. Then once you've done it once, you have a little bit more confidence to do the next one. Here we go, this one. Oh yeah, that's really good. I'll show that on screen. Big Harry Marty drew that. It uses the Space Quest 3 Roger, but recolored. Using the Red Alert logo from, or the light alarm thing from Space Quest 1 VGA, if I'm not mistaken. But the doors kind of resemble the AGI, and the art looks more like AGI. That's really nice, man. I forgot all about that. I'm going to save that. Boom. That's really cool, man. I'd totally play this. I'd totally play this game. Just starts with an idea, right? So, yeah, okay. We're getting close to 11 o'clock. I gotta start work at 11:30. So, I'll just do some details in the branches here. Try to copy what I got here. And then we'll call it a stream. So, let's go back to the draw commands to try to keep them all in the same space. So, what color are we on right now? Yeah, we gotta change to make some details here. So, we'll do black for this area. Just some subtle lines. Give shape. A little bit of depth. Just something. I don't like that line. At all. Alright, and then for this area we'll use gray? Maybe just black too. Okay, this is a better reference to go by. Yeah, we'll use gray. Maybe a bit. Well, what does it look like? No. Don't like any of that. That's not so bad. And then up here, what color we use there? Just a solid green or a solid teal? Maybe a bit of both. As we don't see much of it, so maybe we'll go to teal. Yeah, we can mix and match here. Have a variety of in fact, I even put some green down here. Have a variety of details. I gotta try to get it to as close to the edge as possible. Otherwise, it really looks like it's just containing a bunch of squiggly lines inside this shape. Alright, I think that's okay. That's alright for now. I'll look at it with fresh eyes later and see what I can do with it. If I can think of something better. Good. So next time, that's good. I banged that out. And the walk behinds. Well, maybe I'll do the control lines just quick. So at the end of everything, when the drawing is done, we start doing control lines. So where the ego can't walk. So I'd like to block him right down here. That. And we just fill that in with white, and now ego cannot walk there. So if we go back to visual, observe control lines, this is a good way to test, so it's good, he won't walk beyond that, and you can change the... So I'd say he could probably get a little closer to that tree, actually, so... Zoom in. Come on. Let's try like here. How does that look? Whoops. There, I can get closer to that tree now. Okay, I like the bottom. No, the bottom needs to be a little lower. I'm walking right on top of that. But the top can come down. So, instead of redrawing it, I'll do what I said before. Copy, paste, and then move it down a bit. There we go. That's a better... And I'm not walking on the tree quite as... Maybe down one more pixel. One. Good. That's much better. Perfect. And I can do the same thing for this tree up here. This is a teal tree. Okay, so what happens? I want to see something first. Just check this, what this looks like. So this white is actually quite a ways down because it's the bottom of your foot, of the eagle's foot, that is the origin point. So his feet, if he's walking upwards, could still be going over the line because it's the bottom of the sprite where the origin point is. So I gotta keep that in mind when I draw the control lines here. I don't want the top of his feet to be any higher than this, so I gotta put the control line down here, like way down here, which just so happens to be on the teal line, which is perfect for me. Like that. See what that looks like. Don't get carried away, you have to go to work soon. Actually, I'm starting with paperwork, so don't worry. Which I can do at home. Alright. Good. Good. I like those boundaries. That's a little too far. So it's blocking the edge of his sprite, so right to his nose, when it should be his feet. So I'll bring that in a bit. Good. I'm okay with that upper boundary. And again, here's two. As you can see, his sprite stretches all the way to the back like that. So, but if I'm in another, he's moonwalking. I'll move that over a little bit. Something like that. That's good. That's good. And one more. Yay for Object Zero. Sir Graham is back. Welcome, Mr. Dave. Object Zero. I should rename Ego in this game to Object Zero. Which was Graham's object name in the original AGI game. Whoops. Bill. In this case, we don't want him to be able to go right up to the base of the tree because the tree sticks out here. Otherwise, I think those are good boundaries. Maybe the top boundary can go down a bit. I'd still think it can come down. It doesn't need to be that tall of a box. A very small box. Whoops. In fact, I think even that's too tall. Let's do... cursor hotspot and companion's a little off sometimes. Alright, there we go. Very small tree. I like it. And I'll just quickly do control lines here, and then we'll test it quick. I don't like doing staircasing with control lines because the person tries to walk and they can get stuck easier. Not stuck, but it's more frustrating to try to walk somewhere, so I try to do just rectangles. I'll do something like this, and then up, and then over, and way up. Right to the edge of the screen. Something like that. Except I don't like that line. Go. Fill. Now. It's good. Good. And I need a walk behind for all of that, which will be purple. Let's make it purple. Light purple or dark purple? Keeping this for this entire thing. The tree, everything. Oh, I don't need all these details. As long as the flood fills are in, that's fine. Whatever, doesn't matter. Boom, that should be the whole thing. Now I can turn off priority. Nice. Okay, here. That might be a little annoying. Yeah, I'm gonna lower that. Not so high. Not near so high. I like that. Okay, and then he'll walk right over to the screen, I believe. Let's rebuild. To the left, which is the mermaid screen. Right here. Now, do I have... So the control line should match. So this line is at 72. This line is at 61. So it doesn't match up. They should match up in the same place. So that is 71, or is it 72? 72. So we'll change the height of the control line right to 72. Might as well keep it consistent. Right? What's the lowest most? 89. $86. That's okay. If it's too close to the white, if you go to the next screen, it'll bump him down anyway because sprites can't be on the white. Ego can't be on the white. Alright, let's test that quick. Pause the music. Let's test it super quick. Uh-oh. That's definitely the wrong color, but it's using the wrong... What? Why is it doing that? What? 16. Oh, I'm saving. I think I was saving over the original patch file I had. No, it's still not doing it. What's going on? Okay, before we do anything, I'm going to save as... No. Export as patch file. Close SCI companion. Reopen it. Alright, import patch file. Weird. Weird. What happened? It didn't save anything I did? I shouldn't have closed it. I should have copied and pasted all the draw commands. I gotta do that all over again. Okay, so Companion still has some bugs, obviously. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. That is so weird. It only saved up to the branches. So I gotta do the shadow, the flowers. Did it at least do the control? Nope, didn't do the control, didn't do the priorities, didn't do anything. I did the priorities. Did not do the control. That's easy enough to fix. I can do the control again. Well, I can watch back on the stream VOD and try to painstakingly duplicate the exact coordinates of every draw command I did. Is it possible that it's pulling in a patch file instead? I don't think so, because it saved all the priority work I did and the branches up here and the branch details. Like, I had drawn the shadows and flowers before doing these branch details, so it really freaked out somehow. The branches were when you said you were ending stream. Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't even have all the details. Like, I started doing some dark green and teal lines here too, but there was a point, remember, when I was doing all of these, trying to copy these commands, where it just freaked out, and when I was going back and forth on the command list, the colors were changing all over the screen in weird ways, and then that suddenly went away. I think that's when the glitching started, and it only kept some of what I did. Yeah, that's the old one. Well, that's okay. I'll redo it. I'll try to get it back. Maybe I'll figure out something by some freak of computer wizardry. It actually saved everything in a weird place, and I'll find it. Who knows? But that's fine. I am not deterred. This is still fun. And yeah, okay. So everybody, thanks for joining me. It's been another great time. Let me know if you like the idea of going between, sorry, keys, going between programming, art, and music. So this week will be art week, next week will be music week. Maybe I'll try to do the title theme of the game or something. And then you can see me compose something, which is originally what I made this Twitch channel for. But yeah. So, thanks for joining. Have a good rest. Like it. Great. All right. I'll see you guys Thursday morning at 9 a.m. then for the next one. And hopefully between now and then I'll recover what I did and we can work on something else. If I don't have time, then I'll go back and redo this. All this work I lost. But I didn't lose all of it, just some of it. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Thanks, guys. See you later.